Hi, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and today we're going to take a look at 5 affordable favourite concert ukuleles. If you're beginning on the ukulele or you're coming over from another size and want to dip your toe in something new, then usually you have a fairly modest budget. You want to get the best thing you can for the money, and there's lots of choice. It's worth having a look back through the catalogue of videos on the channel, but we have taken 5 of the ukuleles that we like to recommend regularly as a team here at Southern Ukulele Store, and I'm going to just show you them for each size. We're going to start with the concerts, but in the coming days and weeks we're going to be looking at tenors, baritones and sopranos as well. We've got something from a few different brands here, including a bit of a wild card that you might not think that we would mention or recommend, but something that's been very popular in store over the last 3-4 months at Southern Ukulele Store. Stick around and find out what that is. First up today, we're going to take a look at the frankly iconic Kala KACG. If you've started on the ukulele in the last 10 years, then there's a good chance you've seen a Kala KACG at some point. They do a few different versions of this model. They do the KAC, which is a satin finish, the KA15C, which is stripped back a bit more, and then you have this one, which is kind of the deluxe beginner's uke, if that makes sense. It's a high gloss finish over laminate mahogany. It's laminate mahogany for the top, back and sides. You have front and back cream binding, which makes it just look a little bit classier. If it was completely unbound and glossed, it would look very, very plain. The white kind of sets off the body itself beneath. You just got to trust me on that. You've got the 3-ply rosette, and you have going up to the paddle sort of Kala tipped headstock there. You have closed gear tuners. Most importantly, for a beginner, you're going to get asked questions about nut width if you go into a shop, or you're going to get asked, what's going to feel comfortable for you. And the 2 common nut widths for a concert ukulele are 35 or 36. You do also get 38. Most beginners' ukes will have a 35mm nut width with a 27mm-ish string spacing, which is the distance from the G to the A. And if you've got very, very big hands, you may wish to get something wider, but most people find at the beginning this is perfectly adequate to pick up and learn the ukulele. The KACG is very much the starting point. We very rarely have ukuleles cheaper than this. The KACG is usually where we start here at Southern Ukulele Store, and with good reason, because you want to get the best instrument you can as a beginner, and there's plenty of tat out there that's just looks the part but doesn't sound the part, or sounds the part but doesn't feel or look the part. And ultimately, this is my shop and I want people to buy ukuleles that they're going to love. This is the KACG. Let's give it a play and see what you think. Next up today, we have a uke you may not have heard of before. This is the UK03CP. They do this model as a UK03C, which is a standard concert shape like the Kala we've just looked at, or they do it as a pineapple. And the pineapple shape, if you're wondering why you would have that, the theory behind the pineapple shape is that this curvier body adds a bit more thickness, a bit more richness. You definitely hear a difference in tone regardless of the woods or whether it's laminate or the size. There's a definite difference in sound. I think it's more down to the player than the shape of the instrument itself, what you get out of it. But I've always preferred the pineapple version of these beginners ukuleles. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I'm recommending it to you. The UK03CP is laminate mahogany, just like the Kala we looked at before, but unstained. So you'll notice it's a lot plainer without that high gloss finish to make it pop. But the ukulele itself is around the same price as the Kala KACG, but will come with a gig bag, and just the overall kind of fit and feel of the Umas is fantastic. If you have a budget for a ukulele under £300, you really can't go wrong with any Uma model. I've not played an Uma model yet at this point that didn't feel like really good value for money, so that's worth noting if you are looking for your first, or a different ukulele at a modest price. The ukulele itself is just completely unstained, so very traditional looking, like the early Martins. It's Very cool. A 35mm nut again with 27mm string spacing, but a slightly thicker neck than the Kala, so the depth of the neck slightly thicker. Let's give the UK03CP a play and see what you think. Next up today is something a bit different, a bit more contemporary. This is the Flight Iris concert. Now, Flight are a ukulele brand that seemed to come from nowhere 5 years ago, and they continue to listen to what ukulele players out there are asking for, and they bring out more new models than most brands. They're definitely tweaking and changing their lineup of instruments all the time. That being said, there was definitely a gap in the market for a ukulele that was stylish and a bit quirky and affordable. They originally brought out the Nighthawk, which was a very similar looking uke but with a high gloss finish and a translucent stain to it. It was all solid wood and it really resonated with a lot of people, instantly very popular with this electric blue pickguard. They've now scaled this model back, they've simplified it so it's a satin finish, it's just a solid top, and the actual uke itself, for me, if I was a beginner right now, this is the uke I would choose, and I'm not even that much of a fan of the blue pickguard. I just think playability-wise and feel-wise, these are always really, really good. The Flight Iris has a solid spruce top with its stained black. It has laminate mahogany back and sides with cream binding on the front and the back. It has a strap button. It has an Indian rosewood fingerboard and bridge. It's a 35mm nut width, a slotted headstock. That's not something that you've seen before if you are a beginner. The slotted headstock, the theory behind it is that it brings the strings back at a more steep angle when they go through the nut. And that creates a bit more tension. So these ukuleles tend to have a bit more fire to them, a bit more spark when you strum them. And when you finger pick them, the notes will ring out for a bit longer. You have side-mounted dots, which is very, very handy, trust me, when you're looking down and playing. Being able to see these things is great. And as a left-handed player, as some of you who are new to the channel may have noticed, I'm not getting that on this ukulele, but you will. So yeah, a little bit of added value there for you. The Iris also comes in a padded gig bag. I'm going to give the Flight Iris a play for you and see what you think. Next up today we have a bit of a classic. This is the Ohana CK25. The Ohana CK25 has been around now for well over 10 years, and it's one of the ukuleles that we've always tried to keep in stock along with its slightly more blingy cousin CK35. Because if you're looking for an all solid wood instrument but you have a modest budget, your options are limited. By keeping everything quite simple, Ohana have managed to keep the CK25 very affordable, and it's a ukulele that will grow with you. I've seen so many CK25s come back to us looking like they've been completely French polished over the years, from where people have been rubbing their hands against them as they play and they just French polish the finish up to kind of a nice shine. They age nicely, and it kind of reminds me of when you see a ukulele that's 100 years old. And really, that's kind of what you want. You want a ukulele that's going to grow with you, and this ukulele is definitely capable of that. The CK25 is all solid mahogany with a simple cream rosette. There's no front or back binding, nice and simple all the way around. Has an Ovencoal fingerboard and bridge, and it has a 35mm nut width and 27mm string spacing. You've got open gear tuners with cream buttons. I love cream buttons, always have. Don't know what it is. Reminds me of old Gibson guitars from the 1930s for some reason. I just love them. And yeah, the Ohana CK25 is the complete package. If you're, if you want to be playing somewhere over the rainbow, or you want to be inspired to play ukulele music like the old days, then this is a great choice. Let's give the CK25 a play and see what you think. Last up today, we're going to take a look at a Fender. This is the Fender Fullerton Jazzmaster. Now, we've had a few Fender ukuleles since we've moved into our new location inside Absolute Music. We've been able to become a Fender dealer and take on the Fullerton ukes. If you're familiar with the electric guitar, the Fullerton ukes come in Strats, Telecasters, Jazzmaster shapes, famous iconic electric guitar shapes from Fender. Now, we've always been quite skeptical about these ukuleles, but there's no denying that if I put these up on the wall, people come in looking for an electroacoustic ukulele and they fall in love with these. They come in all sorts of famous Fender colours like Candy Apple Red, Lake Placid Blue, Surf Green, the kind of colours that we as guitar players who work here, who have kind of fallen into the ukulele and kind of fallen in love with that as well. It's a nice mixture, so I can see why guitarists gravitate towards these ukes. The bodies of them are laminate Akumi. They are quite heavy, they're quite stiff and quite rigid, but actually sound-wise are very sweet, which is not necessarily what you expect from a rock guitar. But the fingerboard on these is walnut. They have a 35mm nut width with a very narrow kind of 26mm string spacing. The machine heads are Kluson style closed gear tuners, and obviously you can see it's got the Fender headstock, so it's 4 inline tuners. So it's quite easy to restring. It just looks a little bit complicated on the surface. My favourite thing about these ukuleles is the maple neck. The maple neck feels very different to anything else on the wall. So if your budget is around £200 and you're looking to pick up a uke for the first time that you're going to get excited about, maybe it's going to match something from your guitar collection and you're going to likely to play an open mic or play it on stage, then I totally get why people would go for the Fender. The pickup system on it has an active tuner, and that's really the main pull and the main feature of why you would get this ukulele. It's definitely a stage ukulele if ever there was one. Let's give this shell pink Jazzmaster a play and see what you think. Right, if you're a right-hander, you're playing it this way. I have no right-handed ukulele players available, so it's the wrong way round, okay? Don't be put off. It's this way round, not this way round. Well, there you have it, folks. Hopefully you found your new ukulele in this video today. If you have any questions, you can contact us in store on 01202 430 820 or email us at alex@ukulele.co.uk. I'm going to put links for all of these ukuleles in the descriptions, but feel free to leave a comment and let us know what you liked about this ukulele video. I'm going to be back very, very soon with a comparison of affordable favourite baritones, but for now, thanks for watching.